Hey, this is Rick Kasalj, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, what I wanted to go through are 5 hip exercises from sitting. And Emma's going to help me out, and she's going to go through the first one, and the first one is sitting and arms overhead. So good. And how it breaks down, so you're having a seat. So this is something that you can do, at work or at the office. You're sitting, you're nice and tall, so head, shoulders, hips are nice and good alignment. You're going to bring the arms overhead, and then you're going to bring the arms back a little bit, arching through that low back and arching through that mid back, and then coming back down, and then moving into the next repetition. Okay, so with this one, when it comes to the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 5, time would be smooth controlled movement with a good stop at the end position. The intensity is light, and the purpose of the exercise is to work on that low back mobility and that mid back mobility. So what we're doing is working on the movement in that low back and mid back. Now I know we're not specifically targeting the hip with this exercise, but what we're doing is if we increase the movement in the mid back and the low back, that will help with hip tightness. Okay, so one of them down. Now moving on to the second one, this is sitting and rotating legs in and out. So you're having a seat, you're nice and upright when it comes to head, shoulders, hips, legs are straight. You can go with both legs at the same time or one leg at a time, and you're really rotating through that thigh, rotating in and rotating back out. Perfect. When it relates to the sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets are 1, repetitions are 5, so 5 each way, total of 10 movements. Intensity is light, and the purpose of the exercise is we're dynamically stretching the internal and external rotators of the hip. So a lot of times, if you have poor core stability, poor stability in the hip, what will happen is these internal and external rotators of the hip will tighten up in order to help stabilize those 2 weak areas. And what we're doing with this one is loosening things up so the hips feel less tight and you have better hip movement. Okay, 2 of the exercises down. Now moving on to the third one, this is single leg cross. So you're having a seat, you're sitting nice and upright, you're going to cross one leg over the other leg. Now with this knee, you're going to either do 2 things, actively use your glute muscles to move that knee away from you, or you can get some help with the hand, pushing the hand into the knee until you feel a light stretch in that glute. So right knee's crossed over, you'll feel it in the right glute. Good. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time I would build up to 20 seconds. So with this one we're working on a hold, so you're trying to hold it for a period of time. I know Emma went through multiple repetitions, but that was because we wanted to make sure that you got that you're doing the exercise correctly. So we've got sets, reps, time, intensity is light, and the purpose of this one is to statically stretch one of the deep hip muscles. Okay, moving on to the fourth one, this is a sitting quad stretch. So we're utilizing the chair, you're sitting on kind of the front half of the chair, you're going to bring the leg back, and then you're going to bring the heel towards the seat, so left arm and hand pulling that left forefoot and heel towards the seat, and you're looking for a light stretch in the front of the quad. Perfect. Now when it comes to the chair, make sure that you have a chair that doesn't roll away, that can handle you and your weight on the front half of it, and it's best if the chair has a backrest so that you can grab it. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time would be 20 seconds, intensity is light, and the purpose is for this one is we're statically stretching the quadricep and we're looking at loosening up that quadricep in order to ease up hip tightness. Okay, moving on to the fifth and final exercise. So this one is sitting hip flexor stretch. So it's kind of building on the exercise that we did before. You're having a seat, you're on the kind of front part of the seat, front half of the seat. We're looking at having like right cheek or one cheek and then the same side leg out front, and then we're stretching the other leg that is behind. So left cheek on, left leg forward, right leg behind, and then you're tightening up the abdominal areas, bringing the hips forward, looking for a stretch here and a stretch through the front of the hip. Now looking at the sets, reps, time, and intensity for this one, sets would be 1, repetitions would be 2, time would be 20 seconds, intensity is light, and the purpose of this is we're really stretching out the hip flexors and we're doing it in a sitting position. So there you go. Give those 5 exercises a go. You can do them at work. If you have a difficult time standing or kneeling or moving down the ground, when it comes to traditional hip stretches, give those a go. Now, if you also want some of my other best tips and tricks when it relates to overcoming hip pain, what I recommend you do is head down below in the description and click the first link, which will be exercisesforinjuries.com/hips. Let me know where to send you that free report called 5 Tips and Tricks That Fight Hip Pain and Tightness, and I'll send you that report right away. Now, if you got benefit from this video, make sure to like this video. If you have a question or comment for me, leave it down below in the comments section. And lastly, hit subscribe to get future pain relieving videos.